In recent times, several members of Amber Heard's camp have come under fire from the public. At first it was her lawyer Elaine, and now it's one of her BFF Eve Barlow. And even though she has already pretty much destroyed Amber's chances of winning, it seems she plans to destroy everything that's left of Amber's credibility as a person to the public. So, exactly what has Barlow done this time that has her in the headlines again? Since the official conclusion of the case between Johnny Depp and Amber Heard, there have been a few names that have repeatedly come up in the media relating to the case, and one of those is Eve Barlow. Barlow made a name for herself during the early days of the case by attaching herself to Amber Heard and being an avid supporter of the actress up to the point that some would call her a fanatic. Well, it seems all this particular fanatic knows how to do is wreck things, as that has pretty much been the case since Amber let her become the spokesperson for their camp. The reason is that Barlow has made more than a few less than ideal moves, with one of them even getting her thrown out of court in the early days of the trial. Now, she's taken things to a whole new level. Only a couple of days ago, the entire social media came for Barlow after she seemingly harassed some YouTube content creators for profiting off of the case between Depp and Heard. But the problem with her logic is that that's exactly the job of content creators. They work with the latest events, and Barlow even took things a step higher by targeting Johnny Depp fans, especially one of his more famous supporters with the alias, "That Umbrella Guy." Barlow outed him to the world, revealing his true identity and details about his personal life on the media, including his marital status and his kids, all of which had been intentionally preserved from the public. And while she expected that fans would come out to support her for doxing the famous YouTuber, the reaction from the public was actually the opposite, as most people came for her and the entire camp for stooping so low that they would drag his personal identity into it. As if that wasn't bad enough, later down the line, Amber fans also started to spring up, with some of them going as far as threatening to have his kids taken from him if he doesn't stop talking about the case. Now everyone would agree that these are all pretty extreme situations, but an even equally terrible revelation was recently made by that Umbrella Guy concerning Barlow, and that made people flip even more. According to the YouTube content creator, Barlow has actually tweeted in the past against doxing. Yup, the very same thing she just did to this man is what she was fighting against just 2 years ago. And he backed up his words by posting a screenshot of one of Barlow's old tweets condemning doxing, and he added the caption, "Doxing is a violent act, Eve Barlow. Also, doxing is okay when I do it, as long as I lie about why I did it." Eve Barlow's. Of course, this revelation was huge for Twitter users and quickly rose to become the topic of almost every conversation on the social network. And while a major part of it becoming like that was based on Barlow seemingly doing the exact same thing she condemned months ago, another part was the resemblance in her case to Amber's court case. If you watched the trial, you'd know that Amber repeatedly changed her statement over the course of the case. And apart from that, she was also found by the general public to have been the assaulter in the marriage, which again is something that she has repeatedly advocated against. Could it be that Amber intentionally searches for people that are exactly like her? Well, it's certainly starting to look like all this deceit, right from the case with Amber Heard up to this Barlow issue, is something that runs in the camp, and it sure had a lot of fans talking. One user who seemed confused by how badly Barlow wants to be associated with Amber wrote, "Correct me if I'm wrong, but you would think she would be out protesting in the streets about the overturning of Roe versus Wade and thinking of all women, not just fighting for one who lost bigly. I thought that was what activism was all about." Another user who was worried about the safety of the YouTuber wrote, "So, doxing others with a different viewpoint, sharing wildly inaccurate earnings statements and trying to instigate a hate campaign on the doxed individual and targeting their kids is perfectly okay in her book. But doing it to Amber or anyone she likes, violent act, danger." Even up to this point, no one really knows what Amber's MO is, because in one minute she's saying she's a good person and is surrounded by good people, and in the next, the same so-called good people pull stuff like this. I'm not sure if she's aware, but this is going to leave a major dent in her case. That's if she's lucky and the whole thing doesn't get wrecked. But regardless, we'll find out soon enough. Tell us, do you think Amber planned all of this with Barlow, or was the journalist acting on her own?